Hi viewers, welcome to the Grammar Channel. Today we are listening to a lesson, The Midnight Visitor. The Midnight Visitor, written by Robert Arthur. All about Robert Arthur. He was an American writer of mystery and speculative fiction. His fame rests on The Mysterious Traveler, that is a radio series, and Three Investigators series of novels. These are the famous writings of Robert. His stories were published in many magazines in the years between 1930 and 1940. He died in the year 1969 in Philadelphia, USA. Now we'll move on to the introduction of the lesson, The Midnight Visitor by Robert. This story is all about a clever secret agent, Oswald. Oswald is a clever secret agent and he was accompanied by his friend Fowler, who was a writer. They decided to spend the evening together. So Oswald appeared to Fowler exactly the opposite he thought about him. Let's go into the detail of characters. All the characters in the story, The Midnight Visitor. Fowler. Fowler is a very young writer and he wrote books related to the romantic aspect of life. Shifting from this genre, he wanted to write a book on the detectives. In his mind, he had formed a picture of a detective like James Bond. According to his imagination, the detective would be young with an attractive personality. He assumed a detective to be surrounded by equipments related to the field. To his astonishment, when he met Oswald, he felt very devastated. All about Oswald. Oswald is the protagonist of the story Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur. He is a secret agent, but his appearance did not match his profession. He was very sharp and had a quick and witty mind to escape any situation with his self confidence. He was a short and fat man who was quite lazy too. As he was a secret agent, he tricked Max and made him believe that there was a balcony attached to his window, even though there was no balcony over there. In this way, he saved his crucial documents from Max. All about Max. Max was a slender man, not very tall. His features suggested that he was slightly crafty, cunning like that of a fox. He did not seem very dangerous, other than the fact that he was holding a gun. He had come stealthily into Oswald's room and wanted the report on the missiles. But Max easily fell into the trap set by Oswald. He was overconfident just because he had a gun pointed at Oswald and Fowler. Max lacked the presence of mind. He was so focused on pointing the gun at both the men, he did not look down for a second to see whether there was a balcony below the window or not. He just blindly believed in Oswald. Max proved that he could be easily fooled. This did not make him a very good secret agent. Viewers, will move on to the theme of the story, The Midnight Visitor. The story highlights the theme that wisdom is more powerful than other weapons. Oswald's intelligence is highlighted in the story. It is also based on the theme that one should not judge a person by merely his appearance. Oswald is fat and lazy, but he is the most intelligent of all in the story. Now, chapter sketch. The Midnight Visitor is a detective story. Its writer Robert Arthur. Oswald is a Oswald is a detective. He is one such secret agent who expects to get some sensitive papers in his hotel room. But one of his rivals, Max, attacked him at gunpoint and he demanded the papers. But Oswald showed a remarkable common sense. He came out of this situation with his common sense. Fowler, his friend, was surprised to see a secret agent, Oswald, who was too fat to be a secret agent based on his physical appearance. For Fowler, the situation was very scary, but Ausable, sensing the danger, fabricated a brilliant story about the non-existent of a balcony on which Max believed. Ausable again befooled Max by saying that the police were knocking at the door. Max wanted to run away to avoid the police and jumps to his death into that virtual balcony. Let's move on to the summary. The Midnight Visitor story is all about the witty secret agent Ausable. He was with a writer friend, Fowler. They planned to spend time in the evening. Then Fowler realized that he is exactly the opposite of what he had imagined about him. Ausable told Fowler that he had been thinking wrong and very soon he would be looking at a very important report which would change the country's future. Then both went to his room, but when they entered the room, another guy, Max, with a gun, was standing in the room. He asked them to be comfortable until the report's letter to missiles arrived. This was really an adventurous experience for the Fowler while meeting with the secret agent. Meanwhile, Ausable started with a story about a hypothetical balcony below the window of his room. While this talk was going on, someone was continuously knocking at the door. Ausable said that the police were at the door, came to check him and his room on a regular basis. Max, pointing his gun towards both of them, said that he would be waiting in the balcony and during this time, Ausable should send away the police, otherwise, he would shoot them. At the doorknob is turned in loud. Max jumps out of the window and they hear a loud scream. The door opens and a waiter comes in. The waiter says that he has brought the wine that Ausable had ordered. He keeps the bottle, tray, and glasses there on the table and leaves. Fowler is surprised after seeing all that. Fowler asked him about the police. Then Ausable replied that there were no police. Fowler again asked about Max, who was waiting in the balcony outside the window. Ausable replied that the person would not return as there was no balcony at all. This shows the quick wit of Ausable, and he took advantage of the situation and successfully made Max nervous. Under his nervousness, he jumped out of the window without any thought. He jumped from the top floor of the hotel and hence died. Thus, Ausable outwitted Max and saved himself from a very dangerous situation. Viewers, we'll move on to the chapter highlight of the story, Midnight Visitor. At the beginning of the story, Ausable chuckles about how Fowler's plans of writing a good story have been destroyed because Ausable's work was uneventful and not worth recounting. The two enter Ausable's apartment to collect an important report the agent is expecting, only to be confronted by an intruder named Max. Max is another secret agent who threatens Ausable with his gun and demands the report that Ausable has. Ausable, using his wit and intelligence, tricks the intruder into jumping out of the window and saves himself and his companion. This remarkable escape gives Fowler an interesting story to write about. The conclusion part of the lesson, The Midnight Visitor. The message that we get from this story is that in any situation, we should not panic. Instead, we should take a step and face the situation with our presence of mind and confidence.